Hello, 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 it's Christine. Time for a scrapbook process video. And I've mentioned a couple times, but I've been cleaning out my paper section over there. And I had this little baby bit of stuff here. It was a Scrap Room Flavors of the Month. I want to say either October or November last year. And all I have left, I don't even know what collection this is, y'all. I've done cut off the branding strips. It's gorgeous. I recall I used this, I want to say it's Fancy Pants. Anyways, I pulled that out. I got a black piece of cardstock. I left that was still in my Scrap Room Flavors of the Month. I've got this picture. I went looking. This is in Seattle. Actually, no. I think we were in Canada on this one. We'd gone to Seattle to visit my sister, but we went to Canada for a little day trip. And this is just by some ginormous tree. It's my daughter. And it's kind of, it's a tree. And so I have this, and I kind of want to fussy cut, like, especially these pieces. I definitely want to fussy cut these things. And I'm kind of wondering if I want to maybe fussy cut some of this too. So I got to figure out a way to use the scraps. Sorry, I just wiggled that really fast. I definitely want to mount the photo on this. I don't think I want to fussy cut this stuff back here because I've already used it kind of one other time. But I have some ideas. So let me mount my photo. I need to trim this little branding strip off too. And I'm contemplating, I don't know if I'm going to do mixed media or not. I kind of want to fussy cut, like I said, and kind of organize these around here. So let me, like I said, trim this and get it on here and figure out what I'm fussy cutting and what I'm going to use off the papers, because either side could be pretty too. Ooh, that could be really pretty. So let me do that, and I'll be back on in a minute. Okay, you guys, so I have gone through, you can kind of see them at the bottom there, and I have fussy cut a whole bunch of those pieces, the leaves and the little mushroomy things off the two pieces of paper. And I only had just small little scraps of where the B side, or maybe an A side, maybe it's B side, the red and black plaid. And I had a little bit of that yellow with the black polka dots left. Now, at first I wasn't going to mess with those. And then I had cut these little pieces of the white with the black. Well, technically I cut it as one piece and I cut it in half. And I thought, but they look kind of strange just by themselves. So I'm going to end up matting them on the red and black plaid. And I'll tell you, I barely was able to get enough to mat. And technically the one on the left side has a tiny little notch in it. But I don't care. It's so small, I don't think anybody's going to notice. So I'm going to end up with the little red and black mat first. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put, because I still had the yellow and black laying there. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to use another scrap. And so I'm going to kind of add another little piece of the black and yellow behind these white and black and red and all the things. Now, y'all, I could not remember. I kept remeasuring. This is ridiculous. I had cut the photo mat around it, and I don't remember now exactly. It was like because it's 4-inch photo, but it wasn't exactly 4.5 because I cut it a little bit larger. So it's like 4.5 plus a little bit, but I couldn't remember it. And every single time I went to try to cut that darn photo mat for the white piece, I had to remeasure the darn thing. I was like, what in the heck number is it? Why is this number not sticking in my head, y'all? I'm doing this voiceover. It's a Friday, and my day job has been friggin' ridiculous. My company's end of the year, fiscal year is right now. And so my brain is melted. It's just melted. And I love coming into my craft room because I don't usually have to think so hard. So then when I have to measure and remember a number, it's hard. You guys, it's therapy for me. I can't remember numbers. It's funny because I did a layout not too long ago with the zigzags, and it was a scrap lift. And she had provided instructions, but, some of my fellow hoppers were like, I can't do this math. We shouldn't have to do math in scrapbooking, y'all. We shouldn't. Anyway, so I'm cut the red and black mats for the white pieces there. And I actually on purpose made it where the white, it's kind of like arrowy-ish, like it's kind of framing the sides of the photo. I think it looks kind of cool. And then this is where I thought, I've got this yellow piece laying here. I think I'm going to use it too. So I'm going to cut this. But here I am again having to measure, y'all. Do you see that? So I'm going to measure this. And then I cut it that width. And then I go, okay, now I can cut it kind of in half. Let me think just a minute. Did I cut that in half? Yes, I cut it in half. And that's what I'm going to put behind these pieces. And I think that looks kind of neat, actually. I'm kind of happy. It kind of brings in those two colors to the outside. Whereas before, when I just had the white and black piece laying there, it looked strange, like orphaned. It didn't look exactly right. So I'm kind of happy with this. And I'm like, okay. So I got this kind of going on. I bring it up just a little bit. I think it was a little too low on the paper. I don't glue any of this down, you guys, and I should have. Because I'm going to lay all these little pieces down here. I messed with this big leaf. He was kind of tricky. And actually, that's not even where he ends up. I'm going to lay all these pieces down. I'm going to organize them. And I'll realize, okay, now I need to glue stuff down. But since I hadn't glued my papers down, I got to pull it all back off. I try to slide it. I try to keep it where it's going to be. And y'all, that don't work out. It don't work out at all. So I'm going to end up basically, I don't make y'all sit me through me doing it twice. But I essentially have to rebuild this thing twice. Now, I kind of keep them in the same general area. It's not like I have to start completely over in a sense. Like I kind of know about where they go. But I'm going to set all this down here. But if you guys notice when you get to the part where I've cut over to where it's all glued down, it may not look exactly the same, you guys. But it's close. It's close. I do use Nuvo glue kind of on the bottom parts. And then the little parts that kind of lift it up, I've done this before. When you fussy cut, it gives a little bit of lift. And everywhere it did that, I did add a little bit of foam tape. And so it's going to have dimension. And I'm going to tell you, I love how this turns out. I'm not going to lie. I think this looks so pretty. I'm not unhappy at all with how this turns out. It's really cute. Now, I will also decide to put a little cluster down at the very bottom on the right side kind of, mostly just because I had extra leaf pieces and stuff. And I'm like, I'm bound to determine I'm going to use all these pieces, you guys. I actually end up with just a small, tiny little piece of the black and white paper left, and I'll put that in my neutral scraps. So I use basically everything else. And I got off into this really old Jen Hadfield collection and pulled out a couple little phrases like I have enjoy. And I pulled something off the sticker, and I'm so sorry, you guys. The cat is sitting on the layout, so I can't read it. But there's like one that's like, I'm sorry. I don't know what it says. I'm sorry. The cat's sitting on it. But you'll see I'm pulling the little stickers off right here. They're going on the right. Oh, I think this is bliss. And then at the very bottom on the little cluster I built out at the bottom, there's going to be another little phrase. I like these little mushrooms. I put these over here on the right-hand or left-hand side, rather. I fussy cut 2 of them. And y'all, this is funny too. I almost forget I had ephemera. Like it came with the collection. There was a little baggie. The Scrap Room Flavors of the Month, you always get like a little baggie of stuff. I completely forgot it was there until I was honestly kind of thinking I was done. And then I come across the baggie and go, oh no, here's some more good stuff. I did like a little book plate piece right there that was in my stash, up in my Jenny Hatfield stash over there. So that's on the left side over there. I like how that looks. I think, like I said, I pulled off a few little word phrases. I think I had, there's where I figured out I realized I had some ephemera. So I'm going to rebuild this just a little bit, kind of add some things just to kind of, use that ephemera up. I do not use, there's 2 or 3 pieces. There's one that has almost a lavender flower. And I go, okay, that's not going to work at all. I have 0 purple on here anywhere. So that's going to have to get set aside. And then there was like a little pink flower thing. And I just decided it didn't really fit either just because it would have been the only flower. Everything else was leaves or a mushroom or something. And I go, no, I don't want to introduce that. So he's going to go off to the side as well. I do like there's a little mushroom. That's that little mushroom there. And I built me a little 3 set of mushrooms over there. And then there was a little an acorn that I used and a pumpkin. And all that looks good. And then I'm looking at these titles. And I'm not going to lie. These are not my favorite titles, you guys. It was like, yeah, cutie, baby, or something like that. And at first I thought I was going to put ya cutie or something like that. But I thought, well, that looks kind of, I don't know. I didn't care for that either. So I do use cutie. That's okay. I don't mind that because she is a cutie. A feather. I forgot. That other piece I didn't use was the feather. I thought about it too, but these would have been like little single unit things, and it didn't really make sense to me. But I don't really use anything else off that little foam title sheet except there's another little mushroom that I do use. Now, I fast around on this little bottom cluster here for a long time too. And then honestly, I get it built and then it gets completely rebuilt. So it doesn't even end up like that. But that is generally how it looks. So I've glued it all down and you can kind of see what I got going on there. And then I decided, you know what? I got some Spiegel Mom scraps over there. Now, this little set is called Peach Fizz. So initially, I wasn't thinking to use it because I thought, well, it's not really peach. But then I thought, you know what? You can pick out individual little pieces. So I did. I went ahead and dumped those out, just a little bit of them, and picked up a few that I thought would go just fine with this little set. And I'm really happy. I'm loving my little sequins, you guys. I'm bound to determine I'm going to use these things. I got to be careful, though, because I'll fall in love with a type of product, and I'll keep buying it. I've been eyeing the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. I've been eyeing them. Miss Kristen Foster over at Scrap It on the Fly, I've seen her use them, I think. It's been a little bit, but she's used them. And I saw her do it, but I don't know if I really thought too much about it. But then it bubbled up recently when Tim Holtz was doing his intro for the new color. And then I saw somebody else on a video use them. I thought, holy cow, that's kind of cool. And so now I keep kind of looking at them, and I'm eyeing them, y'all. I'm eyeing them. Anyway, I'm going to stick on my little sequins here. I kind of basically put them around my, embellishment clusters. I'm kind of considering the left-hand side of that row of embellishments a cluster. And why that's a cluster to me besides the other side, I couldn't tell you, except maybe that little book plate is what does it for me mentally. But I'm considering that the cluster on the left-hand side over there. So I'm just putting my little pieces of sequins in there. I struggled just a little bit on one or two of them because my glue wouldn't, and that's the other thing, my glue wasn't wanting to come out. But anyway, so that's that. I will have, there's a little tab. I thought my date stamp, I was hoping my date stamp would go back far enough, but it does not. This is 2013, and my little date stamp does not go that far back. So I will have to handwrite my date, and I will put that to the left hand, on the left-hand side of the photo right there. So here it is. Here's the slowdown, you guys. I'm actually really pleased. This was all just scraps, if you remember. I'm really proud of myself. I'm getting good at this scrap usage, y'all. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm on Instagram at Scrapping Hard, and if you ever want to pop over there and follow me, I'd love to see that. You can also follow me on my lifestyle account where I show all my life here of all these pictures. It's christine.n.real.life. You can find that from my scrapping account too. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Talk soon.